All right, welcome in. I'm the Kodiak Broncos Podcast, and today I'm here to talk about the fact that I think the Broncos are most likely going running back with their first round pick. But before I get into it, I just want to say a couple things. First of all, leave a like if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're not already. You can always wait till the end. Hopefully, I'll have earned it. Pretty soon here, I'm going to be doing my final mock draft for the Denver Broncos. So that's me going literally from their first pick to the last pick of the draft, which I believe is somewhere in the late 6th rounds for the team. I'm going to be talking about that. I'm going to be giving you my film insights. So yeah, follow me on Twitter if you like what I have to say on here at Kodiak Broncos. Let's dive right into it. So there's just been so much smoke over the past week or so that has led me to believe that the Broncos are going with running back in their first round pick. And I think this really came to fruition when Sean Payton and George Paton had their little press conference interview, because they were talking about, oh, well, if a guy's your guy, then you go ahead and take him there regardless of position. And yeah, so these guys have both come from regimes that have used high picks on running backs, and they've been successful in doing so. Sean Payton obviously took Reggie Bush number 2 overall in 2006. It was kind of impressive that the guy asking the question, the presser, had to remind Sean Payton that he took him in 2006, because Sean Payton was like, Mark Ingram and who else? And then the guy was like, Reggie Bush. And he was like, oh, yeah. But while the Broncos have been connected to fringe and first round running backs in round 1 of this year's NFL draft, we don't actually know the team's philosophy on the subject. See, this is very true, but going back and thinking about it, these are still 2 guys that have a history of using high picks on a running back. Even on our first draft, George Paton traded up for Javonte Williams in the early 2nd round. So yeah, Broncos GM George Paton was also involved in the Dalvin Cook pick in Minnesota, but that was in the 2nd round. The Broncos haven't drafted a running back in the first round since No. Sean Moreno in 2009. That is very, very true. And, organizationally, it's not something that I think I would expect if you go by our recent trends. But to be completely honest, since we are ready for a running back in round 1, since it is such a lackluster position on our roster, since we got very, very bad play from the running back spot, there is no question in my mind that I think it's very likely that we use a round 1 pick on a running back. So it's all about your vision and your vision for the player, the feeling that there are certain positions that may be more available in the offseason than others. Very true, because last year you had Saquon and Henry both available in the free agency market, and this past year at the running back position, you pretty much had nothing besides Najee Harris and J.K. Dobbins. So yeah, and J.K. Dobbins remains unsigned. So yeah, but regardless, if you have a real clear vision for how you want to use them, I think it's the team's feeling for how good that player is and the type of career you think he can have. And yeah, if he's the best player on your board, he could impact your team. I think you take him regardless of the position. And, there was nothing, okay, sorry about all the ads on here, but ESPN's Jeff Legwold says that running backs TreVeyon Henderson, Dylan Sampson, Trevor Etienne, LaQuint Allen, and Cam Scadaboo are on the Broncos' radar. Now, to be completely honest, I don't really believe Jeff Legwold here, because the thing is, with this stuff, with our draft process, it's not like the Elway years. Things usually don't get out of the building. I know that we really didn't do a good job of concealing our interest in Bo Nix last year. I don't care what anybody says. Everyone was mocking Bo Nix to us for a week before the draft. But regardless, with the later prospects, I don't really believe this. But just the fact that TreVeyon Henderson is on here, that says a lot, because the Broncos had staff members spend additional time off the field with Dylan Sampson and Trevor Etienne. And he also says that Scadaboo has named the Broncos as one of the teams he has spent time with in the past week. Oh, also, if you guys saw that clip where Genty says, yeah, the Broncos, they were heavy on me, I feel like that's kind of contributing to this as well. So the Broncos are set to address the biggest roster hole with the 2025 draft class. This is an article by ESPN. It's a strong class, just kind of reiterating what George Paton had said in this press conference. And, apparently the Broncos had the best run blocking offensive line in the league. I don't believe that whatsoever. Yes, we may have had the best run block win rate, but I don't think we had the best run blocking line in the league. I didn't like the play of Powers. I didn't like the play of Wattenberg in that regard. But yeah, 139 carries, 513 rushing yards, 3.7 yards per carry. Inexcusable production from your leading rusher last year. And, there are so many reasons why the Broncos had such a running back, had such a grim year at the running back spot. One of the reasons the Broncos bypassed the position of free agency was because of the available talent in this year's draft. He said it was a pretty lean year in regards to free agency. There was depth in the draft, and yeah. So Um, with all that being said, I think the more time that goes on, we're getting a lot of TreVeyon Henderson buzz, and it's looking more and more like TreVeyon Henderson may sneak into the first round, even if it's not into our pick at number 20. But yeah, so TreVeyon Henderson has not fumbled since his freshman year, and I think that's something that the Broncos really, really like because they were at the podium and they said, yeah, we really like guys who can protect the football. We really like guys who can keep the quarterback upright. And when you have your franchise quarterback in Bo Nix, you're definitely going to want a guy lined up next to him in shotgun who can keep him upright. So TreVeyon Henderson has not fumbled since his freshman year. Once again, Sean Payton has shown a tendency to be really, really frustrated with players who fumble even once or twice, can land you in the doghouse. But yeah, one caveat with this is TreVeyon Henderson has not fumbled since his freshman year, but I think he has fumbled. He just hasn't lost one. I think he did fumble at some point this year. He just didn't lose one. But yeah, so um, yeah, Quinshon Judkins, Damian Martinez also on here as well. Bashal Tutin, 2.5%. That's, I mean, a lot of people talk about his fumbling like he literally gives up the rock on every single play. And 2.5%, like, that's not ideal. That's not ideal, but oh well. So, this is a tweet from Tyler Hayes Ty on X or Twitter. 2 minutes of TreVeyon Henderson being an absolute dog in pass protection. I think that that's something that the Broncos will really, really covet as well. Just take a look at him here. Here, let's watch some of this. And all right, dude's an absolute punisher. Like that was awesome right there. And I'm just gonna play this at 0.2575 speed so you guys can see. Yeah, like even on a designed run play, he absolutely punished the linebacker. See, like this guy, he's shown a tendency to be really, really good at taking on, blitzers. He's shown a tendency to be really, really strong and formidable at taking on um, even defensive linemen at times and linebackers, even though Will Howard got sacked on that last clip. But yeah. So to be completely honest, like boom, great, great IQ and pass protection. And with a guy like TreVeyon Henderson, since he's getting so much buzz to us, I think there's equally as good of a chance now that we draft Henderson that we do Omarion Hampton. So yeah, that's just basically my thoughts on it. Just enjoy the rest of these TreVeyon Henderson pass protecting highlights. Yeah, there's really nothing too fancy here. It's just reps on reps on reps on reps. I just wanted to close out this video with this, little clip compilation. And yeah, overall, let me know your thoughts on the Broncos draft philosophy because it's going to be really interesting to see what they do. I think they're open to the idea of trading back and getting more top 100 picks. And I actually would love the Broncos to trade back in this draft. I think it'd be fantastic for the Broncos to trade back for the first time in a long time. But, it's something Sean Payton's never done in his career as a head coach. So, yeah. Either way, I'm basically going to wrap up that video here. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Mile high salute.